Today I'm going to show you how I change the ceiling fan into the Sputnik chandelier. Let's get started. The first thing you want to do is remove the handles that may be on the strings. Bend them to 90 degrees at the chain link and they'll come right off. Next, unscrew the glass bowl that may be covering the light fixture. If your fan has individual glass covers, make sure to remove those. Now before we go any further, we're going to need to kill the electricity feeding these lights. Locate the breaker box, usually in the garage or closet, and kill the power to the room. Now that the power has been killed, we need to remove the light from the ceiling. Most fans will have some type of base cover that will need to be removed. However, before I remove the fan from the ceiling, I'm going to show you how to replace the light unit in the next 20 seconds. This is totally optional, but these do frequently break as they hang down low, so to replace it, take off the screws around the base and pull it down. When you pull it down, there's likely going to be a lot of wires connected through a single piece like this. Pull it apart and you're good to go. Knowing how to replace the light unit is useful, as you can replace this instead of the whole fan if it breaks. So let's recap where we are. We've taken off the strings, the holding nut, the bowl, and optional light unit. Now let's remove the fan from the ceiling. There's likely 2 to 3 screws around the base that you'll need to remove. After removing the cover and cleaning the base, I need to disconnect the wires from the ceiling. To do that, locate these plastic electric caps and twist it counterclockwise to see the exposed metal. Once there, simply pull the wires apart. There's likely going to be multiple of these caps inside, so make sure to remove all of them. I will mention these wires are safe to touch since we flipped the breaker to kill all power. After I've disconnected all of the wires, I can now lift off the fan, which will be resting on this ball socket. It's a good idea to test the weight before lifting, then gently take it off the anchor bracket and set it down. With the fan disconnected, it's much more clean and we can now take off the anchor bolts. Just unscrew these 2 bolts and the anchor base will come right off. Notice that one side of the base is open, so that's the direction you'll lift the fan off. With the ceiling fan removed, let's unbox and assemble the new light. With the light ready, let's now hang it up. This base plate is what will hold the light to the ceiling. Before we put it on, we need to cap off one of these wires. The red and black wires are hot and are controlled by different switches. The red turned on the fan blades, the black turned on the lights. I'm capping it off as I'm only going to use one light switch. Later I'll tape it and seal it away. Next I need to get out this mounting bracket that will connect to the black round mounting plate that I showed earlier. Undo the 4 nuts on the bolt, then line up the holes to the holes on the ceiling mount. You don't have to feed the wires through the center hole, but I did it so it's easier to see. Like I said, line up the 2 holes on the end, then screw them down so they're firm against the ceiling. So to review this step, these bolts are going to hold up the light, and I capped off any excess wires to leave me with a copper ground, a black hot, and a white neutral. I'll tape the red wire later. Alright, the fan's off, so let's get the light ready to hang up. I temporarily twisted these wires together to feed through the stem. I then added extra stem length so the light would hang the right distance from the ceiling. Next, I uncouple the black and white wire, but there's very little metal to connect to on the end, so I'll need to use wire strippers to expose more metal wire. Estimate the wire size, clamp it down, and pull it to strip it off, but make sure to strip away from the light. Now I have a much cleaner connection to work with. To give protection to the light, I'm going to connect a swivel mount to the stem. This lets the stem move back and forth if it's bumped or if it's hanging on an angle. I line it up, then tighten it down. Now we're finally ready for the mounting plate. To connect this, I face it the right direction, then feed the wire through. Next, I'm going to connect the ground wire by also feeding it through and leaving it on the base. Finally, I seal it all together by using a locking washer and nut. Finally, I twist the wires together and seal it down by using these electric caps. Make sure to match the colors, white to white, black to black. Also wrap electric tape around the cap and wire so the cap doesn't fall off. Next, push up any excess wire in the ceiling and tighten up the base. With that set, take a step back and make sure it's the right length. Then move to the final step and put on the light bulbs. I went with these vintage Edison light bulbs. They're very energy efficient and I think they look great. Flip the breaker, tighten them down, and you have light. When choosing a light bulb, make sure to get the right wattage and lumens. If you like this light set, I'll have it linked below. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.